Good evening, members. Good evening, officers. Good evening, members of the public. And good evening, anybody that has joined us on the Council YouTube, and good evening, councillors that are watching. I think that's covered everybody, but anybody I've missed, I'm sorry about that. Welcome to the Planning Applications Committee for tonight, 9th of February. Could we have the fire instructions, please?
We're not expecting a fire alarm tonight, so if you do hear a loud continuous ringing, please would you exit from the doors and just go downstairs and meet at the meeting point, which is the flat car park outside the theatre. Thank you. Please don't use the fire escapes in here unless it's an absolute last resort. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much. Apologies.
We've received apologies from Councillor Gordon, Councillor Noble, Councillor Ratteram, Councillor Barnett and Councillor Morley. We've got substitutes, so Councillor Rise is substituting for Councillor Noble and Councillor Deach is substituting for Councillor Ratteram.
Thank you, Paul. Canty Morgan coming. Minutes, are you agreeable that I sign the minutes of the last meeting? Thank you. Sorry, Councillor Tapper.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, whilst I'm happy to have you sign the minutes as a true and correct record of the proceedings, I have a problem with item 52P on page 8, in that it is, in fact, factually incorrect. How do we deal with correcting that for the record? What is stated in there is not, in fact, true.
You've presumably written to Democratic Services and the officers with your problem relating to that item.
Okay, and how will that then be dealt with?
Have you written in with your concern to the...
I haven't, no, I wasn't aware that I was required to do so. I thought I was entitled to bring it up at this meeting.
Oh, absolutely, but it saves an awful lot of time and debate if you had previously notified. What is the your concern with the minute?
Yes, it's with regard to the statement on there that in order for the full width of the combined cycleway and pathway to meet the recommended width of 3 metres, that a number of healthy mature trees would have to be removed. In fact, this is not true. There is, in fact, just one tree on the pathway, and it is set at a section of the pathway where it would not cause any particular problems and certainly would not have to be brought down. All of the trees, other than that one, are all behind the fence. None of them are actually on the footway itself, and therefore are totally unaffected by any proposal to adopt the recommendation to widen the combined cycleway to the full recommended width of 3 metres. So I would like that to be recorded because it was used as an excuse or a reason for not adopting the recommendation. As that is not in fact true, then it can be struck from the record as an objection. And I would like, therefore, the original recommendation to widen the footpath cycleway to 3 metres for the safety of pedestrians and cyclists to be re-examined. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. I suppose from that perspective, we can look into that and obviously get that amended. Looking at legal here in terms of editing the minutes, is that something that we can do?
I can certainly make a note to say that there was an objection to that part and we can update. Yeah. It'll probably just be a note on the next meeting, though, on these minutes.
Councillor Tapper, are you happy with that?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'm happy with that. Thank you.
So, members, if you allow me to sign the minutes, and then there will be that addendum added as a subsequent under this item at the next meeting. Is that agreeable? Thank you. Thank you, members. Declarations we will deal on each item, which takes us swiftly to the main item, public item for tonight, on page 11, which is the Formal Park and Church Hall, Princess Royal Barracks deep cut, page 11 of the agenda. Are there any declarations to make on this item? Councillor Whitcroft.
Yeah, I'd just like to declare that I've met on numerous occasions with Skanska in connection with this application.
Thank you. No. I think we'll take it that, I mean, there's been an ongoing dialogue with the ward councillors, so the same would apply to Councillor Deach and Councillor Rise. Same issue. Any others?
Obviously, I agree. Obviously, I've met and discussed the item with...
So, with the church? Right, okay. Right. Okay, thank you very much. Mrs Bishop.
Right, if you stop sharing, Sarita.
Right, okay, come out. Close the program.
Turn off your mic as well, Susan.
Okay, thanks very much. Right, Mrs Bishop, thank you.
Thank you. Apologies, members. The application before the committee this evening relates to the next phase of development at the Princess Royal Barracks. This relates to the phase in the purple on to the east of Deep Cupboard Road, which is the Formal Park and the Church Hall. Now, the Church Hall members considered and approved at the last committee. It's a vagary of planning law that because the church is listed, it needs planning permission. So this is the application that ties the church hall in with the reserved matters as part of the overall hybrid permission. Next, please. These are some views of the formal park. This is looking south from Wood End Road and then looking up from the Garrison Church of St Barbara. So this is the Deep Cupboard Road side of the park. And the next one should be, again, it's just looking down, so you've got the hedging at the front, so you can just see how the existing car park looks in the street scene. And this is the view from Mindenhurst Road, so it is obviously the area to the west of the road and to the east of the road here. This is looking at the church, and part of the formal park. You can see the link through to Deep Cupboard Road, and this is looking south towards the church from Mindenhurst Road. These pictures are obviously of the Garrison Church of St Barbara, and this is also the car park and the church and part of the formal park proposed beyond. Again, these are views of the church and the car park before the church was surrounded in scaffolding. The proposal before us this evening has two elements. We have the formal park and the car park and the church hall. The church hall, obviously, members dealt with last committee. So we have the formal park at the top. It links in from Deep Cupboard Road and then links into the footpath link between Deep Cupboard Road and Mindenhurst Road. You'll see from the committee report there is a condition that will require the applicant to provide a link to the village centre, which is to the north of this site. But because we don't know where the link is, we've secured that by condition. We've got the car parking spaces, as you can see there, in front of the church. As you'll see from the update sheet, we've got amended plans, which this relates to. We've had additional landscaping put into the car parking area, which is welcome. But we still haven't quite got there in terms of the actual surfacing and the sense of arrival for the church, given its listed status. We also want it to reflect back to its military heritage. So you'll see from the update sheet there's a condition about surfacing to be imposed on that one. We have the car park is also going to be dual use for the formal park, the church. We know that it's going to be used as part of the car park to the south of the village and also be used as drop-off for the school. You'll see from the update sheet that the applicant has asked to change some conditions so that parts of the play area and things can be brought forward. However, before the car park is provided, but in our view, the car park must be provided because it is serving all these various uses. So we haven't agreed to those changes. You'll see from the update sheet that the information came in quite late last week. Due to annual leave, our agricultural officer hasn't had a chance to look at it. So you'll see from the amendment sheet, we're seeking delegated authority to resolve the outstanding landscape and tree matters in consultation with the chairman, the vice chairman, and the local members. There are some general changes to the conditions that you'll see on the update sheet. I think if we go to the next one, please. This is more detail. So you can see the park. There is also a local area of play just to the south of the most northerly footpath. We'll go to the next one, please. And this is, again, a better picture of the formal park, car park, and the church hall. The recommendation is to grant, subject to the changes on the amendment sheet and delegated authority. So with an amended recommendation to defer and delegate to the head of planning in consultation with the chairman, vice chairman and local members to deal with the outstanding landscape and arboricultural matters, including any consequential changes, and the amended conditions are set out on the amendment on the update sheet. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Bishop. I mean, it's all going to look really great with the environmental improvements and that. It's going to be wonderful, I think. Members, do you have any? Councillor Deach.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sarita, for the presentation there. I'm not going to say too much other than to say that I support this, and I hope the rest of the committee will too. As the chairman has just said there, actually, the quality of the environment is going to be fantastic and really bring the village together, I think. I'd just like to recognise the visitors in the gallery there, members of the church congregation who also support this application. As I said in the previous committee, the community is right behind this, and it's nice to see, actually, the community, despite the problems that we had early on, get right behind this. So, yeah, if you would support, I think the community would thank you. So, thanks a lot.
Councillor Tapper.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'd just like to refer to item 4.5 on page 18 and 4.10 on page 19. As you would expect me to say, I am wholeheartedly in favour of the provision of electric vehicle charging points within the car park here. 6, I think, is probably adequate as a starting point. Gratified to see that there is a requirement for additional cabling to be provided so that this can be extended in due course with another 7. On 4.10, 4.10, I note that the car park is to be offered for adoption to Surrey Heath Borough Council, assuming that Surrey Heath Borough Council are willing to take on that adoption of the car park and have it as available as a public car park, which seems to be suggested by what is stated elsewhere in this particular application. I'd like to have it made a condition that the developer adheres to our own choice of electric vehicle charging network provider. We discussed this at another recent meeting, and it appears that Surrey Heath Borough Council and Surrey County Council are unanimous in their choice of provider. If the developer is going to insert their own there, it will be strongly recommended, I would hope, that they adopt our choice of provider for those chargers when they are installed by the developer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Tapper. Yes, it's already dealt with under condition 27 in terms of the scheme to be submitted to the council. I would say that they are already aware. We have told them who our preferred provider is, and they have got details and contact details for the car park manager who is overseeing that project for the council. If you would like an informative to go on to actually specify or to give further details of the company, then I'm happy to do so. But it is already on our radar as part of the scheme to be approved.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, I've just read 27, and I didn't actually see something that confirmed. It said that we would have to approve it, but it didn't actually say that we should make a condition that it be our choice. It does suggest there that we could approve something which was not in accordance. So if you can add that informative or a condition, whatever you decide, to say that we require it to be our own choice of provider, I'm happy to go with that. Thank you.
I think an informative is coming your way, or our way. Okay, thank you for raising that. Anybody else? No. Members, we have an amended recommendation, or recommend with, yes, it's an amended recommendation with revised conditions and delegated authority. Is there a proposal and a seconder, please? Councillor Deach, Councillor Whitcroft, all those in agreement? Thank you, members. That is unanimous. Thank you very much indeed. Members of the public, that is the end of the public part of the meeting, as we need to go into a private session as we will be discussing matters which are not appropriate for public consultation at the moment. Therefore, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Therefore, members are invited, sorry, wrong bit. So the human right exclusion. It's agreed that the press and public be excluded from the meeting during consideration of agenda items 6 and 7, as they involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraphs 1 and 3 of Part 1, Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, 1, information relating to any individual, and 3, information relating to financial or business affairs of any particular person, including the authority holding that information. Members, are you agreeable? Read to that. Thank you.